Hi, this is Todd Lohenry. The other day I was listening to a phenomenal podcast by Tim Ferriss, and he was interviewing Glenn Beck, the conservative media icon. Well, I'll tell you, it was a very interesting podcast. It ran a little bit long. It's well over an hour. I'll have a link to it below in this post. But there was one thing in particular that Tim Ferriss asked Glenn Beck about that really kind of captured my attention. He asked Glenn Beck, what does his day look like? And Glenn described how when he went into the office, that he had this routine where he was briefed by several different people on the things that he needed to know for that day. And that after having been briefed by these three different people, that the stories that he was going to cover just kind of emerged for him. Now, that's a really interesting story, especially to a guy like me, because my superpower is finding and sharing great information. And I want to talk with you for a moment about how you can use a tool like Feedly to become, in the place of having your own staff. Because the big thing about Feedly, which is, referred to as a feed reader or a news aggregator, or, falls into a couple of different categories, is that using Feedly, you can feed yourself a great, balanced information diet of the things that you need to know in order to maintain your thought leadership status. Okay, so let me show you how easy it is. You just go to feedly.com and you can log in a couple of different ways. I have a pro account that I'll show you later. And what I'm going to do right now, I don't have any account that is associated with my personal Twitter account. So I'm going to use that to log in. And you'll be authenticated by Twitter. And this is what the new user experience looks like. When you log in for the first time, Feedly is going to ask you what it is that you want to track. Okay, so get rid of that. And as you can see, Feedly provides me with a wide variety of different topics and bundles on all kinds of different things. So, for example, in my personal blog, I could say, or blog, I'm sorry, in my personal feed reader, I could say that I'm about food, here is a of all of the best feeds that Feedly has to offer based on all of the information that they track about how people are using feeds. And you can go in and you could pick different kinds of things, or you can say I just want to add all of them and put them in a food category. Okay? And that's going to give me lots of great content in the days to come. So what I just did there was I added about, it looks like 8 different blogs that Feedly would recommend. Now I'm at a little bit of a loss here because I haven't, how do I get back to that area? Well, one of the things that I can do over here, up here in the upper right hand corner, is I can go now and if I'm interested in a particular topic. Oops, it's always good to be able to spell. It increases your chances of getting what you want. So this will now find all of the blogs and websites that are associated with the topic of mindfulness. So I can go through and I say, well, this one has, and I'm just going to, because I'm kind of anal retentive, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, I'm going to capitalize that, and I'm going to add. And now I can just go through here and see, well, this one is followed by 3,000 people, and this one is followed by 3,000 people, and this one is followed by 4,000 people. And I can just go through and, you know, some of these are favorites that I can add. But I just go through and because I search for mindfulness, Feedly is going to put this in the mindfulness category. And I could go through and I could add a whole bunch of other things. And anyway, so on and on I go. One of the things that, you know, that I do, you know, especially if I'm to establish a thought leadership position, is to use a tool like Google Trends to see what are people actually searching for. If my goal is to get found, I should start out by using words that people are actually looking for. Make sense? But I can go and use a tool like Google Trends, and I'm caught up in that right now. So, you know, likewise, what I can do is I can go through here and I can see some of these related tags, see if there are any other sites that I want to add. So this is going to continue to recommend to me different websites. And for example, I already added this one. I could add this one, and, you know, so forth and so on. Now, eventually, you know, what I'm going to want to do is, after I've added some content, now it's time to read that content. And what I'm going to do for that, you can see where, you know, I've added these blogs here. So I've got two categories right now, food and mindfulness, and I could keep on going. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out and actually log into my business Feedly. And I can show you how it is that I actually use this every day. So now that I'm logged in, let me show you over on the left-hand side all the categories that I focus on every day. Okay, so I have business, marketing, tech, SEO, productivity, and then a couple of other categories that interest me. And Feedly has a great set of keyboard shortcuts that allow me to quickly navigate through content. So some things I will tag as being must read, and I can follow them up here. But in general, I start with the home key and I take this very minimalist view. And then I just start pressing the J key, which is one of the keyboard shortcuts. And I quickly go through all of the articles that are interesting to me. So right away, when I see something that's worth sharing, then one of the things that I can do is to go to that article And I can decide right away, is this something that I just want to read? Is it something that I want to share in social media? Or is it something that I would want to write a blog post about? Because I can incorporate some content from this post and include it in a blog post of my own. In this particular scenario, I don't really feel like I want to write a blog post about this right now, but just in general, if I do find, if an article is good enough to go to the site to read, then I'm probably going to share it in social media. So what I'll do is I'm going to buffer this particular image, which means I'm going to use the buffer app, put it in a queue that will be released over time. And now what's happening is I'm picking the right, I'm going to put this in my business queue, and I have the option of sharing it right now. Oops. Sharing it right now, sharing it next, or scheduling the post for a different time in addition to adding it to the queue. So I am going to share this right now. And I have a video that's popping up in the back here. Good, I don't want that to start playing. And so now I've put that in the queue, and if I go and check, very quickly what I'll see is that using Feedly, combined with Buffer or other sharing tools, I'm able to quickly and easily share out to my relevant social media site. Now I'll tell you, one of the reasons you could share directly to Twitter, you could share directly to to Facebook or whatever. But one of the things that I found is that Feedly provides me with such great information that I actually had one of the top tweeters in the state of Wisconsin complain to me about putting too much content into my queue of content to be, that's interesting. Here though, here, and if I click on that, I can +1 my own content or comment on my own content. So very quickly and easily, I can go from the content that I find in Feedly out to the website. I can decide to share it in social media. This is why Feedly is such a great tool. Because I can go through here and I'm getting top content from all of my trusted sources. And this is the way that I feed myself an information diet and stay on top of my craft. If you have any questions or comments about Feedly or the whole process, I would love to talk with you. Please engage me in the comments below the video or below the post. And let's start the conversation.